what can we expect from a Winter World Cup? There has been much discussion about it. To give us his insights about it, we have Kerala Blasters head coach Ivan Vukomanović here with us. He has managed in top leagues in Europe and has played for clubs like Bodo, Red Star Belgrade and Dynamo Moscow. Let's hear it from him. Hello, coach. So, firstly, about the World Cup, since you're living in Belgium now, I don't think there's a need to ask this, but if Belgium and Serbia play, who will you support?
I will be divided. Yeah. Most probably, my heart will be divided because I was born in Serbia. Actually, back then it was another country, Yugoslavia, and I'm connected with that country. Personally, I was playing for that selection, for that national team, a long time ago. Since 2005, it's been now 17 years that I live in Belgium, and then that period of my life is well connected to Belgium football, Belgium Federation, Belgium coaching education, and Belgium national team in global. And actually, I like supporting them because I know all of them. We have a good connection, and I like the whole process. Seeing those players, the big players, big names today of Belgium Federation, Belgium national team, growing up from a younger age throughout the selections till the senior level, seeing them performing on a top level today, becoming the best players in the world actually, and I like watching them. I like that process, I like that system, and if it comes to that point, so whoever wins, I'll be happy.
So Serbia has a tougher group with Brazil, Switzerland and Cameroon. Do you feel that this squad can progress from that group?
I think seeing the fact that World Cup for the first time in its history is now in this period of the year, I think that we will see many unpredictable things in the World Cup. Many players don't know the feeling about playing World Cup in this moment. Nobody knows. This is an experiment, okay? So all of them will be in physically good shape, ready for the World Cup. Now they will arrive in a country where you have a different climate, you have different approach of everything. You will be practicing on, let's say, in one condition. You will be playing in air-conditioned stadiums. Like, many factors will be decisive, and I think that the fact that they are playing now in this period, taking in consideration the fact that before, when you were preparing for the World Cups and big tournaments, you get like 6-7 weeks preparing, organizing things, and now they only get 1 week. So it will be jumping from your club's dynamic, club rhythm, international team dressing room for only 1 week, preparing for the biggest tournament ever. It will be quite interesting to follow. I think that we will see some surprises in a way, like some big names or big teams going out after the group phase, and certainly I think that we will see some surprises, like some national teams going through the group stage, qualifying maybe till the last level. And Serbia is actually now in a very positive dynamic, in a very positive atmosphere, with a great coach, one of the biggest names of Yugoslavian football ever. The team is great with the good players. They're in a good shape, good form now. They won actually a couple of days ago this final game in the Nations League, and they qualify for the higher level. So now they're very positive, and they have that positive, let's say, spiral, hoping that they can reach nice things. And with that atmosphere, of course, if you have those basics, then you can hope for the best. It doesn't matter if the first game, actually, the very strong game against Brazil, and also funny fact, last World Cup in 2018, Serbia was also in a group with Brazil and Switzerland. The only difference now is between Cameroon and Costa Rica back then. So, and I think that in this World Cup now, speaking about so many these different factors, that anything's possible. So, and Serbia can be one of the surprises from that group qualifying for the next stage, and then in the next stage, like, anything's possible. You never know. It's about one game, knockout phase, you know, so anything's possible. I hope that they will qualify. It will be a hell of a job, and I wish them all the best. So hope to see them progressing through the World Cup.
Yeah. So apart from Belgium and Serbia, which other teams are you most excited to watch?
I'm a big fan of modern football. I like to watch countries like Germany, France, Holland, England. Then if we speak about passion, seeing different styles, about speaking about, you know, samba, tango, of course you speak about Brazil, Argentina. I like surprises. I like when one country from Africa can surprise us, whether is it, I don't know, Cameroon or I don't know, Morocco, these kind of things that can give some extra, we say, spice to the table, spicy, you know, and it makes it beautiful. That's why the football is beautiful. Then you always have to count about one positive momentum of one country from South America. It has always been the case. So I think the World Cup will be interesting. Will be interesting, most probably with some, like I said, negative surprises, some of big countries flying out after the group stage. Because in the last period, the last World Cup edition in Russia in 2018, we saw Germany going out after the group stage. You know, many countries like, you know, were surprised by some national teams, and then you see surprises like smaller countries or the countries who are not that high on a FIFA ranking, just going through the group stage, flying and going to the knockout phase, qualifying and reaching quarterfinals, semi-finals, because anything's possible, like I said.
So you mentioned England. So England has a strong team, but a lot of English fans are talking about it, how it's too defensive. So have you noticed anything about the England team where there are strong attacking players, but the team reached the semi-final in 2018 and Euro reached the final, but there is England fans are always unhappy and they're still unhappy. So have you noticed anything about that team in particular? Just asking because you mentioned.
Well, of course, this is the best league in the world. If you speak about domestic competition, England is the best team in the world. And the fact that in England you will find the best foreign players in the world. If we speak about total amount, maybe some of the best players today, if we mention names like Cristiano or Messi, they are playing in some other countries. But actually, many of those foreign players elevated this championship and competition to a higher level. England understood after so many years the process of forming young players, and they started making these results first in the young national teams. And then when those generations grow up, when they grew up and they arrived on a senior football, now they started performing. And when we speak about the level and quality they have everything. They have top players in attacking compartment, midfield, defensive line. Yet it is the coaching job and the coaching choice to define and decide in what moment he wants to approach the game on offensive or defensive way. Now they're saying that maybe in the last period they were playing more defensively. Yeah, but we cannot take off the detail that they were in the finals of Euro, semi-finals of World Cup. They have a great team, and they didn't reach those heights just because they were defensive. No, they were attacking. They have the best top scorers in the world, like Harry Kane or some other players. So maybe the way you approach certain games, it looked like they were playing more defensively. But it doesn't matter. Maybe they didn't have now success in the Nations League. But Nations League also is the competition organized by UEFA, where they wanted to implement more games. And many of those players and coaches were not happy about that format. And many of European countries are looking at that Nations League like a unnecessary tournament, where you just can get injured. And looking the format of Premier League in England, the players are so exhausted, and this additional amount of games that they get in Nations League is just getting them more exhausted. And sometimes they were playing easier. They were not giving that level of satisfaction to media, to fans, where everybody started, yeah, you know, they're not that good. Yeah, maybe the approach was not just that good like it was the case in the Euro and the World Cup. And I think that they can repeat certain things because they are a good team. They're a really good team. I like them. Seeing playing, and they have quality. They have quality. Even the other night, 0-0 in the halftime, yet 3-3 against Germany, which is also a great team, you know. And you cannot do that just like that, you know. You must have quality to score those goals and everything. So I'm also a big fan of that football. I hope that they will reach high level now in the World Cup.
Apart from the Messis and Ronaldo and Neymar, which other players are you excited to watch? And are there any young players that you're keen?
Well, there are many of them. Actually, if we speak about, we just mentioned Serbia national team. I like some of those players watching, especially young striker from Juventus, Vlahović. There is also now one winger playing in Juventus as well, Kostic. You have Aleksandar Mitrovic, who is now for years one of the top scorers of English, even Premier League and Championship. So then, speaking again about one of the best players from that part of the world, Luka Modric from Real Madrid. I like these kind of intelligent players like him, like Toni Kroos, like many other players from that position, like Rodri from City. Some good central defenders, very intelligent. I like watching Spain. I like watching Portugal. I like watching Holland. I like watching Germany, their dedication and commitment to the team, to national team, how they respect certain things. There are many good examples speaking about good national teams like Denmark, or there are many other things that you can see and respect, because today the football went through this evolution period where many countries, like we said, more than 220 countries participating in the World Cup qualification. Many of them understood the process of forming young generations, young players who later, when they arrive at the senior level, they are prepared. They are well prepared for the senior level, they are well educated, and you see them then evolving to big stars, big names, and it's just a pleasure watching them, because many countries, they understood that process. And when you see those guys with that knowledge, with that quality, it's just a pleasure. And there are many of them playing in all around in these top leagues. And there are nationalities like Portugal, Spain, England, Germany, Denmark. There's so many of them. I like them watching. Even now, the young one now just starting with his goals in the city, like Haaland, but he will not be in the World Cup with his national team. But I'm certain that in the next edition of Euro Cup or something, Norway will have a very strong team.
So you mentioned the difference in format this time. So just going back to previous World Cups, when it was after the season.
Okay.
So during the 2014 World Cup, if my research is correct, you were working in Belgium with Standard Liège.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think one of your players, Laurent Simon,
yes,
was called up to the Belgium national team in Brazil.
Yes.
So he went to Brazil and came back to Belgium, a long way. So I was curious, how do you manage a player who's set to go to a tournament like that, and also after he comes back? Do you need more?
Well, I remember being in a pre-season period with my team as a coach, and I remember watching the games from World Cup. I remember seeing them getting eliminated against Argentina in the quarterfinals, if I'm not wrong. They went through the group stage, they eliminated United States, and then in the quarterfinals, I think they lost against Argentina 1-0, goal of Higuain. Yeah. So Laurent Simon was there. Some of our young players, like today, he was playing the other night in a starting 11, Michy Batshuayi. He was also in a, let's say, long list, but at the end he was not within the group for the World Cup. Well, in that period in Europe, you as a club, you start your pre-season and you just continue working like it is. Your players who are on a big tournament, so the previous season, when they finish, they get like short vacation, and then they go with national teams. So it means that, again, preparing for a big tournament as a World Cup, this is the period where they use to prepare for the next season. So they're playing the World Cup, and after the World Cup, they get additional some days of vacation, and then when they get up with the team, we were almost close to our season start, first game. They are already in a rhythm. You just have to maintain their fitness level, to add certain things, and this is it. With the medical stuff and technical stuff, you manage those things, you get them back in the group. He adapts to training's intensity and everything, and that was it. So, of course, for him it was pleasure to be there, playing some games and being part for a long time of national team. And even today, when we are in contact, of course, I'm really glad that he was there.
But before going for the tournament, is there additional pressure on the player, fear of getting injured or something?
No, actually, in football, if you keep working constantly the same way you work, going hard into the duels, being dedicated to your work, not thinking about those things, then you will never get injured. You know that you are ready, you know that you are going with the flow, and then you go for a national team. Actually, you never know. There is no guarantee. In football, I remember being part of national team in 2000, even being close you know, with national team preparing for a Euro Cup in 2000, and just getting injured 1 month before that, and I missed that. But this is what happens. This is what happens. These things, you don't have to think about them in advance. You just go with the flow. You do your job. So this is how it goes.
Yeah. So the clubs don't have to take any additional measure to protect those players or anything.
No.
Because, yeah.
No, actually, I remember we were playing that season till the end of playoffs, and we ended up second, I think, that season in Belgium. And he was playing. He was one of the best defenders in the league, central defenders, and he was with the reason on a national team list. No, you just train normally. Actually, all those players, they need to train hard in order to get to national team, in order to be ready later to play for national team in the World Cup, you know, if needed. So these kind of things you cannot avoid. You cannot just saying like, you know what, don't play or don't like. No. They have to do it because later it's easier if you are in a rhythm. It's easier to go to play those tournaments.
So the reason I asked that is because this time, like you mentioned earlier, there is fixture congestion. Like till November, teams are playing matches, club teams, and then they go to the World Cup.
Yes.
So that situation in this Winter World Cup, do you think that can have a negative impact on the players because of this fast adaptation and things like that?
Yes, I think. Because many of them will come from different environments. Many of them will come to Qatar from maybe some other different parts of the world, coming to a certain weather conditions, you know, having only 1 week to adapt on weather conditions, on everything they will find in Qatar, and then trying to perform. All of them, they will be in a good rhythm, that's for sure, because they're already playing games for national teams, for clubs, and now they will come to a national team trying to perform in the World Cup. And they will be playing some good games, yet it is something that it will be like an experiment because it never happened before. So I'm really like enthusiastic now, excited to see how it will be. And somehow I think a feeling that some of them, like I said, will fly out after the group stage because it was not the same way like it was before. Speaking about preparations, some of them will be as a surprise going throughout the tournament. And that's why maybe we'll see something different like than before. So let's wait and see, but all of them will be on a certain level. The coaches know that they will get players in a good condition. So now it's about adapting, managing things on a short term and see how it will be.